Okay, so what's up there mga ka-edu? This is your host, Ejuka Sensei, and time check, it's already 2:46 in the afternoon. First time to mangyari sa B.I.C.S Math. Medyo na-late kami kasi po, dami namin kanilang technical glitches, lalo na po sa internet services. But anyway, that is a perennial problem, a very technical one. So, nagsang-ayon na lang ang ating mga discussant na sila na lang pong silang lima na lang po daw yung magko-cover up ng lahat para sa siyam na discussant. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So, ang ating topic for today is about the successful learning theory and the W.I.C.S model. So, kung ano bang ibig sabihin ng W.I.C.S is i-discuss yan ng ating mga discussant. Di ko rin kasi alam. Joke lang. Okay, so mga ka-edu, okay, once again, good afternoon. This is Seiji Sensei and welcome sa ating Bura-Bura live stream ngayong pong hapon. And our discussant for today's topic are all coming from Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics, third year students. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's start to introduce our discussant. First, we have Ma'am Elaine May Florin. Ma'am, bati ka po.
Hello po, good afternoon. I am Elaine May Florin from W.I.C.S Math 3.
Ma'am, tagasan ka?
Taga Balaba po, sir. Balaba po lang kay Albay.
Okay, so shout out sa mga taga-barangay Balaba, Pulangi Albay. Okay, so ayos. Thank you very much, ma'am. And we have here, of course, Ma'am Kay Palakay. Ma'am Kay, hello po. Bati ka, ma'am.
Hello po, sir. I'm Sherilyn K. Kalakay from Magurang Pulangi Albay. Shout out po sa inyo.
Okay, so ayan. Nakalimutan ko. Kusog ko nga itong mukha mo dito. Kuhan ka pala, tawag mo. Sabi ko na kanina parang nawawala yung yung isang side ng tawag mo dito. Mamaya ayusin natin. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We have Ma'am Sherlyn, no? Di ba, ma'am? Ma'am
Yes,
Sherlyn.
po,
Ma'am Sherlyn Casey.
po.
Sherlyn. Okay. So, taga saan yung ligyan ka, ma'am?
Taga Magurang po, sir.
Okay. So, kababayan din kita. Taga Magurang din ako? Oo, okay. Shout out sa mga taga-barangay Magurang, Pulangi, Albay. Okay, ma'am? Ayusin na lang natin po mamaya ang ating camera. Okay? And we have Ma'am Marion Martiliana. Ma'am!
Hello everyone. Good
Okay.
afternoon.
Taga saan ka, ma'am?
I'm Martiliana from Gabon, Pulangi, Albay.
Kamundo ang magsaluyong-sulong man sa naka mo. Di ba, Jerlyn? Tapos si Ma'am Marian. Okay, so shout out sa mga taga-barangay Gabon, Pulangi, Albay. Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Marian. Okay, and our next po, we have Ma'am Mary Eileen Saison. Ma'am, bati po.
Hi everyone, I am Maria Eileen Saison from W.I.C.S Math 3.
Taga saan ka, ma'am?
Tagalibon po,
Libon, barangay?
Velasco Street, Zone 1.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. So, shout out sa mga taga-barangay ang Zone 1 sa Velasco Street, Libon. Albay. Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Ellen. And we have Ma'am Aquila Marie. Tama ba yan? Baka magkamali ko. Espinar. Okay. Hello, ma'am. Pati ka po.
Hello po, good afternoon. I'm Akila Marie Espinar from Kinali, Pulangi, Albay.
Yan, masana pala di kami sa... Saan ka sa Kinali? Anong lugar sa Kinali?
Imperial po.
See. So, shout out sa mga taga-barangay Kinali, Pulangi, Albay. Diyan po sa Imperial. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sila po yung ating mga discussants. Okay, ngayon pong hapon regarding po sa Module 17, which is Successful Learning Theory and the W.I.C.S model. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, sila po ulit. We have Ma'am Elaine May Florin, Ma'am Sherilyn K. Palakay, Ma'am Marion Martiliana, Ma'am Ellen Saison, and Ma'am Aquila Marie Espinar. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, mamaya po, okay, sisimulan natin ating discussion. Huwag kayong aalis and we'll be right back. Okay, so what's up there ulit mga kaido? This is your host, Seiji Kasentai, and good afternoon to our viewers. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. And time check is already 2:51 in the afternoon. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, ating topic for today's session is about Module 17. And that is the Sternberg's Successful Learning Theory and the W.I.C.S model. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, okay, ibibigay ko na ang ating floor of discussions. Okay? Sa ating first discussant. Okay? And that is Ma'am Elaine May Florin. Ma'am, may start na po.
Once again, good afternoon everyone. I am Elaine May Florin. So for today, we are going to discuss about the Module 17, the Sternberg Successful Intelligence Theory and the WICS model. But first, let us know the man behind the successful intelligence and the WICS model. Next slide po, sir. Robert J. Sternberg, a cognitive psychologist who is currently the provost and the professor of psychology at the Oklahoma State University. He has 13 honorary doctorate degrees, including one conferred by the La Salle University, Manila, Philippines in 2011, and he received numerous awards for his contribution and service to psychology and education. And lastly, he has written 20 major books with topics ranging from intelligence, giftedness, creativity, love, and hate.
Okay.
And
Dami
so,
pala.
Robert Sternberg
Sige,
did
ma'am.
an extensive work in the field of intelligence. As a youngster, he had difficulty with intelligence tests, which led him to come up with the triachic theory of intelligence in the 1980s. But he thought that his theory is quite complicated. Kaya naman po, he made a simpler one theory, which is the successful intelligence theory.
Okay.
And together with the other prominent psychologists, he proposed the WICS, the Wisdom, Intelligence, Creativity, Synthesized Model, as an alternative paradigm to deliver more relevant admission, instruction, and assessment in education. So, without further ado, let us begin the discussion. Next po. First is the...
Basa mo. Okay. Ang sabi ko eh.
Titignan ko na lang po dito, sir.
Okay, sige.
First is the successful intelligence theory. Can we really measure the intelligence of a successful person? And can an intelligence be measured by success? So yun po ang isip-isipin natin for this module. And let us define what is intelligence. Intelligence has been defined in many ways. Higher level abilities, the ability to learn, emotional knowledge, creativity, and adaptation to meet the demands of the environment effectively. In short, intelligence is the ability to think, to learn from experience, to solve problems, and to adapt to new situations. Yung proponent ng successful intelligence theory, he defined is intelligence as the mental abilities necessary for adaptation to, as well as shaping and selection of any environmental context. It means that a successful intelligent people adapt to shape and select environment. During adaptation, they change themselves to fit the environment. In shaping people to change the environment to fit them. And in selection, they find a new environment. Parang gano'n lang po yung pag-define ni Robert Sternberg sa intelligence. So
Okay.
now, doon na tayo sa successful intelligence theory. The ability to succeed. It is maximizing one's own strengths, not only to adopt one's environment, but also to contribute significantly to the society. Siguro maipapasok natin dito yung Is it the mission or the vision of the BU? It's the vision to produce individuals that are sa change agents po baga, sir. Not only yung knowledge lang yung i-impart mo sa students, but also yung students mo ay magkaroon din po ng contribution sa society as well. Parang ganun po yung sa successful intelligence theory ni
Sternberg.
Ni Robert Sternberg.
Okay.
Yes po. Hindi lang po siya nag-focus sa knowledge lang. Parang mas gusto niya na yung learning ng bata is meaningful talaga sa lahat, hindi lang para sa sarili niya.
Oo naman, di ba? Lalo na pag nag-break kayo ng jowa ninyo. Napaka-meaningful na mga ganyang bagay. Makakalimutan yan. Nakalagay yan sa long-term memory. Di ba? Mga ganang bagay. Oo. Sana all, di ba? Joke lang. Okay, let's proceed, ma'am.
So, for the successful intelligence theory, there are 4 skills included in here. First is the memory skills, analytical, creative, and practical. Let us go back to the first skill, which is the memory skill. Miss Akila, can you help me to explain this?
Oh, bakit? Kanino ba talaga yan? Kanino ba talaga yung discussion na yan?
Hello, Miss Ario po, sir.
Sige. Okay, so sino na po? Si Ma'am Akila. Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Elaine, for the introduction. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, mamaya siguro meron ka rin isa pang topic dyan, di ba?
Apo.
Pero ka rin dyan pong inampun isang topic. Okay? Sa ngalan ng grupo ninyo. Okay, let's proceed po. Thank you very much, Ma'am Elaine.
Thank you po.
Let's proceed po. Ma'am Akila, come on.
Yes po, sir. Okay, so according to Miss Elaine, there are 4 skills included in this theory. The first one is memory skills. So, memory skills, it helps us recall facts and pieces of information. It also helps us retain the knowledge we acquire. Meron po baga tayong long-term and short-term memory. Then, ito pong memory skills, ito po yung nakapagtulong po sa atin para ma-piece po yung mga facts to have a tawag mo dito, parang makabuo po tayo ng sarili nating explanation po sa to a certain topic.
Regarding sa ano yan, sa math subject, okay? Since kayo mga Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Mathematics, bigyan nyo ng example ng ating mga viewers ng mga konsepto na papasok sa short term and long term kapag ang pinag-uusapan ay subject na math. Anyone? Sige. Pwede kayo mag-contribute. Start tayo sa short term. Magbigay kayo ng example para sa mga viewers natin. Short term, yung pumapasok lang yan at least, I think, 5 minutes. Then after 5 minutes, wala na siya po. Okay. Anong example? Sa subject ninyo. Oo, para ma-idea yung mga... sige.
Parang puro short term.
Sige. Sir, yung mga formula, nakalimutan agad.
Sige. Okay, bigyan tayo ng isang example. Sa short term
Yung
muna.
sa derivatives.
Okay.
Bilis makalimutan, sir.
Oo. Anda, bakit? O bakit anong factor? Madaming symbols. Ano pa?
Yes, sir.
Yung formula niya, ano?
Hindi alam yung pasunod-sunod.
Okay.
Yung process po,
Okay.
mahilo.
Okay, so meron na kayong ano yan, binigay na tips of pag-aralan mabuti yung derivatives. Medyo masakit din po talaga yan sa ulo. Okay, but anyway, yung short term na yan, pwede yan guys actually ma-convert into long term. Okay, meron kasi yan, meron yung sekreto dito, mapag-aaralan yan dito ng mga viewers natin. Kayo rin na magde-discuss. Okay, but anyway, dun muna tayo sa long term. Sa long term naman, ano yung mga medyo mahabang makalimutan at medyo significant sa buhay ng isang learner when we talk about the subject math?
Yung mga basics, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.
So, 4
Yun po
basic
yung
operation.
tingin ko long term.
Tama. Oo. Nga naman, no? Sige, try mo kayong kalimutan yun ngayon. Gawin tabi suli. Maluloko ka ng ano yan, no? Nung conductor, di ba? So, importante talaga yun for basic operation. But anyway, so sabi ko nga kanina, merong chances na yan po ma-convert into long-term yung ating mga short-term memories. Okay? Using this memory skill. So, kanina explain ni ma'am yan, di ba? Okay? So, let's proceed, ma'am.
Okay po. So, yun po yung mga memory skills na cover. Next slide po, sir. Sa
Okay.
analytics.
Ayan.
Next po is analytical skills. It helps the person determine if a certain idea is good. So, ang analytical skills po, ito po yung skills po ng estudyante to analyze a problem po para mahanap kung alin po doon alin po yung problema na kailangan bigyan ng solusyon na kailangan may masolusyonan, and then para po dito po humog po yung critical thinking ng estudyante.
Okay.
Analytical skills.
Tama. Di nyo ma-solve yung
Next
derivative sa memory skill? Ayun, use analytical skill. Di naman kasi kaya ng lahat ng memory. Di kaya.
Ay,
Kung ang computer nga, nasisira ang RAM, nasisira ang ano yan, utak pa kaya natin. May mga hangganan din yan eh. Okay? So, let's proceed, ma'am.
let's proceed po sa creative skills. So, creative skills allow a person to come up with a new idea, usually to answer a need or solve a problem. It makes one flexible and able to adjust to change in one situation. So, ang creative skills, ito po yung skills po or yung way kung paano po natin i-solve yung problem. Paano po natin parang pinagsabay po dito yung analytical skills and creative skills po, sir.
Importante talaga.
Ayan.
So, without the memory skill and
Apo.
the analytical skills, hindi kayo pwedeng gumamit netong creative. Anong gagabitin nyo? Literal nga, zero. Zero balance. Wala naman laman.
Yes po.
So, okay, let's proceed, ma'am.
Okay, and last po is practical skills. Enable a person to apply what one has learned. It also allows one to carry through or implement a plan. So, ito pong practical skills. From the previous skills, para dito mo po a-apply po kung ano po yung natutunan mo into real life. Pwede pong ganun. For example, sa math, kung bibili ka po baga ng sa supermarket, i-analyze kung kung iba practical skills alam mga ito naman kailangan yun pa ang practical skills.
So, ayun. Yan, napuputol-putol ka. Pero okay, sige. Nakuha ko. Nakuha nyo rin siguro. Pagkabit-kabitin natin. Gaano ka-importante ang math sa apat na skill na to? Naku po, grabe. For example, nagsabi sa iyo yung classmate mo, sale bagagma sa LCC. Memory skill. Unuhan ikaw sa sale ni Hito. Nga, ngaya, masking sa department sa supermarket store, lahat sale. Memory skill yon. Then, pagpasok mo sa ano yan, sa mall, hanapin mo yung mga bagay-bagay. Then, papasok yung tinatawag nating analytical. Diba? Sa analytical. Isip-isip ka. Hanapin mo yung magic word, sale. Ano yung magic word ng sale? Hindi yung percent. Hanapin mo yun eh. Saan ba yung dito yung kulay red na mayroong puti na sale? Yan, hanapin mo siya. And then afterwards, papasok yung creative. Paano papasok yung creative? Iisipin mo dyan eh, paano ko magagasto ng tama yung pera ko? Gamit yung mga percentage. Diba? And then the practical skill, ang huling tatabak dyan eh. Pagtingin mo sa pera mo, pare kulang. Ano gagawin ko? Babalik ka sa creative skill? Pwedeng ito na lang bilhin ko. Meron pa naman ito sa bahay. Tapos papasok na yung ano yan. Babalik na naman yung ano yan. Yung analytical skill mo. Sandali muna. Check ko muna nga. Meron ba talaga na ito sa bahay? Tapos papasok na naman ulit yung memory skill. Oo nga no. Parang meron pa na ito sa bahay. So in short, bumalik siya. Paglabas mo sa mall, wala ka talagang nabili. Ang tawag doon, window shopping. Ganun po yan. Nagbabalik po talaga siya. Kasi kung hindi po yun ninyo nabalikan, yung mga skill na ito, hindi nyo kayang, tawag ba dito, i-alter from one another, then you have a mental defect. Totoo po yan. Kasi nung nag-aral po neto si Sternberg, ito yung hirap sa sarili niya kasi nga frustrated learner din siya. Kung napansin nyo kanina yung introduction ni ma'am, okay, so parang may kalungkutan din siya pagdating po sa intelligence. So medyo hirap din po siya talagang matuto. That's why buong buhay niya pinag-aralan niya kung paano po mag-facilitate ng learning. So itong apat na to napaka-importante because kung ang isang tao normal, walang defect ang utak, dapat kaya po niyang gamitin itong apat na skill na sinabi natin ngayong hapon. Okay? So meron pa ma'am?
Next slide po, sir.
Okay.
Continuation na po ni Elaine. Miss
Okay.
Elaine po.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Akila. Ayan. So let's go back to Ma'am Elaine May Florin. Yan. Saluhan na lang kayo. Normal yan. Come on, Ma'am. Okay, let's proceed po. Tatawa siya. Ano ba? Okay, diretso na. Nanonood yung boyfriend mo. Okay, come on. Go, girl.
Ay, sana sir, meron. So,
Oh, guys. Wala pa daw. Pamay na. Okay, come on, guys. Comment below. De joke lang. Let's proceed po.
So, Stanford believe that the traditional views of intelligence focus heavily on memory and analytical skills. He also emphasized creative and practical intelligence. So, ayun nga, dahil nga sa naisip niya na puro lang memory and analytical skills, niligyan niya ng konting garbo ang pagkatuto ng isang tao, which is the creativity and practical intelligence. So yung theory niya, it points out that, next slide po, sir.
Okay, sorry. Turog-turog sa pansitan. Okay, sige. Ayan.
So, yung theory niya, yung theory of successful intelligence, it points out that some students who do not do well in conventional courses may, in fact, that have ability to succeed if they are taught in a way that better fits their pattern abilities. The balanced combination of 4 skills of memory, analytical, creative, and practical skills leads to successful intelligence. Balikan natin yung points out that some students who do not do well in conventional. Ito atang sinasabi ato niya dito is yung even hindi masyadong nag-excel yung bata sa academics, makikita mo pa rin in the future na may kakayahan siyang maging successful pa rin in the future.
Yes.
Despite na hindi siya kagalingan sa ACADS. Kasi ang gusto dito sa theory niya is hindi lang naman yung memory and analytical skills ang kailangan, but also the practical and being creative, pagiging pagkakaroon ng better solutions in the problems, kung paano mo mag-a-adapt ka sa sitwasyon mo talaga sa buhay.
Tama.
Parang ganun yung gusto niya sa successful intelligence. Diskarte lang pag nasa totoo ka ng
buhay. Real life situation. Tama
buhay.
yun.
Yes po.
Kasi, kahit gaano mo kagaling sa mathematics, kung di ka rin marunong ng accounting, kaya nga tinuturo muna yung math before accounting. Kasi, ang galing mo naman, di ba? Wow, taas ng sweldo mo. Ang galing mo naman magwaldas. Puro ka-expense, wala ka naman savings. So, walang accounting. So, lahat ng pera palabas, nasaan yung practical skill doon? Diba? So, importante talaga yun. No? So, even certain person knows little about accounting. Ako kasi nag-aral ako na nung high school ako, nagkamali-mali yung napasukan ko. Kaya may konting alam din ako sa accounting. Noon ako pinasukan, third year. Arts. Sa drafting. Tapos pag fourth year, kasi na-late ako pagpasok ng pag-enroll sa high school, napasukan ko business management. Wala talagang available na open slot. Napunta ako dyan sa PGCHS kay Ma'am Rex. Nga tanga yung ED ka, di ba kaya drafting ka? Dapat nga doon ka civil tech. Pasensya na kaya nga minapo kaya sarado. Ralawat kaya ako nag-late. Yan, mas mahalaga kasi yung Dota, di joke lang. Ako Dota pa more. Okay. But anyway, ang kagandahan doon is I learned how to do basic skill in business management and basic skill in accounting. Basic lang naman yun. Pero ang kagandahan pala nun is we teach ourselves how to become financially literate. So, dun pala papasok yung isa sa mga practical skills ng mathematics. Okay? Financial literacy. Kasi may mga tao na mataas din yung sweldo, mataas din yung gastos. So, parang wala din napupunta. So, remember right now, lalo na sa pandemic, importante po na meron tayong savings, lalong-lalo na ngayon because if times of emergency comes, meron tayong huhugutin. Di ba, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Iba na talaga, no? Iba na mag-explain pag pamilyadong tao na. Dati walang ganyan-ganyan. Walang puro financial literacy. Walang ganyan. Sine lang ng sine. Ngayon, iba na. Nagbabago. Tama talaga yung discussion nyo kanina na nagbabago yung intelligence based din sa surroundings or sa environment ng tao. Diba? Dati wala akong pagka-practical. Laro lang ako ng laro. Ngayong may anak na iba na. Panggatas. So, naikapot pa sa kang suldo sa ATM, nangabog-kabog na kung saan gagamit dun. Di ba ganon? So, importante talaga yung itong topic ninyo ngayong araw. Okay? So, let's proceed, ma'am. Ano ba? Masyadong late yun.
So we're done na po sa first jury ni Stenberg, which is the successful. Tapos na, sir, yung sa intelligence jury. So I am giving the floor now to the next discussant, which is si Miss Saison.
Okay, so before we let's have a little break kasi parang may nawala sa inyo dyan. Di ba? Parang may nag-leave. Anyway, thank you very much sa ating first two discussant. We have Ma'am Elaine, Florine, and tapos si Ma'am Akila. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, huwag kayong aalis. We'll be right back. Okay, so what's up there ulit mga kaeduk? This is your host, Seiji Kasensai, at nagbabalik kami ngayon dito sa ating Bura-Bura live stream. Okay, along the Facilitating Learner Center teaching. Okay, and our topic for today is about the successful learning theory and the WICS model. Okay, so kanina diniscuss natin yung apat na skills. Okay, sa ngalan po ng mas informative, or let's say mas tawag ba nito? Generative skills in learning. Ibig sabihin, mas makakatulong sa inyo para maging productive. So, kanina diniscuss natin yung apat. So, we have memory skill, we have analytic, we have creative, and we have practical. Okay, yun nga yung pinaka-importante sa lahat. Okay, so ngayon, nawala yung aming isa ngayon. Kasi daw, nag-overheat daw yung phone. So, puro problema. Discussions ngayon. Okay, anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, ibabalik natin ang table kay Ma'am. Ayan, so nagkahati-hati na. Okay, kay Ma'am Akila. Ma'am, okay, ikaw na po ulit. So, let's start na po dito sa ating WICS model. Come on, Ma'am.
Yes po. Okay. Excuse me. So, our next topic po is about the W.I.C.S or WICS model. So, under the WICS model, intelligence is viewed as a set of fluid abilities to learn from experience and to adapt to one's surroundings. So, sabi po ni Sir kanina na we can learn through our surroundings, pero natin ma-adapt kung ano yung nakikita natin sa paligid natin, and yun po yung view ng WICS model. The next slide po, sir. The WICS stands for wisdom, intelligence, creativity, and synthesized. Ayan po. So, next po, sir. So, Sternberg, 2010, described the WICS model as follows. Citizens of the world need creativity to form a vision of where they want to go and to cope with changes in the environment. Analytical intelligence to ascertain whether their ideas are good ones. Practical intelligence to implement their ideas to persuade others of the value of their ideas. Wisdom in order to ensure that the ideas will help achieve some ethically based common good. So, anyone po sa aking members who can give example po sa datong mga form analytical intelligence and practical wisdom and creativity po.
Yan, call for a friend na.
Call for a friend po.
Okay, come on. Yan, it's your turn. Yan, nag-call for a friend na si Ma'am. Sige. Sino sa grupo? Uy. Nagkakayaan pa eh. Nagkakayaan pa kayo? Wala nga ako. Okay. Okay, so don't you worry.
Sir.
Okay. So, balikan natin yung diniscuss ni Ma'am. Kasi napuputol-putol yung mga, yung screen natin, okay? So, sabi dito, the citizens of the world need creativity to form a vision. Nakikita nyo naman dyan, Kalarado naman yung ibig sabihin dyan. Okay? Need creativity to form vision. Oh. Siyempre, ang vision dapat ninyo, original, authentic. Ang problema kasi sa mundo, kung gagaya ka ng gagaya sa gusto mo mangyari, or let's say you're just comparing yourself to other people, that is wrong. Dapat, meron kang sariling vision so that meron kang maiwang legacy dito sa mundo na sa'yo talaga. Okay? Wala naman maging yan. Actually, let's say promoter or let's say advocate of something that is already existing. Yung nga lang, you need to make your own. You need to make your own. Paano ka makilala? Bilang isang guro, dapat meron kang ma-share sa mga estudyante mo. Let's say one of your creative teaching style. Ang teacher dapat po, may sarili kang style na wala sa iba. Paano malalaman yung identity mo? Ay, si Miss ganyan yan Alam ko yan. Galing niya magturo. Siya yung ganito. Siya yung proponent ng ganito. So, ganun po sa mundo ng teaching. Kung gagayahin mo yung teaching style ng mga previous nating mga philosophers, researchers, and then tawag ba dito? Scholars, academic scholars, or let's say yung mga professors natin, wala rin pinagkaiba. Although, gamit na yan, subok na yan, that's good. But you need to make it on your own. Yun yung pinapaliwanag doon sa una. Kalarado naman yan eh. Okay. Tingnan natin ulit yung nakalagay doon. Sabi pa dyan, okay, hindi ko mahanap yung PPP. Sabi pa dyan, analytical intelligence to ascertain whether their ideas are good ones. Naintindihan nyo, analytical intelligence. Okay, whether their ideas are good ones. Ascertain. Diba? So, kayo ba, pag ba kayo, tawag ba dito, gumamit ng analytical skills, is there a chance that you are prejudging, or let's say, nagbibigay ka ng hypothesis sa isang bagay? O, analytic yun. Prejudging ang tawag din. Pero, hindi tayo gumagamit ng word na prejudging kasi para ang sama ng word. Sa academic, setup, we use this educational guess or hypothesis, di ba? Parang social researcher. Di ba? So, ganun yun. So, sa practical intelligence naman is to implement their ideas to persuade others of the value of their ideas. Persuade, di ba? Others to value their ideas. So, bilang isang guro, sa loob ng classroom setup, mahalaga ba na yung estudyanteng nagbigay ng isang solution sa isang problem, i-cater ninyo, kunin nyo? Nangyari na yan sa amin eh. Meron kasing ang mga estudyante, mahilig sa shortcut. Lalo na ako, mahilig akong shortcut. Para panipisil lang sa diri mo. May shortcut naman. Pero gusto talaga ng professor ninyo matutunan yung long method. Sabi ko naman, parang di naman to practical eh. So sayang yung oras, madami naman mga solusyon na pwedeng gamitin. Remember, in one particular problem, there are so many solutions, okay? Yun nga lang, ang gusto sabihin ng ating mga professor, select the long method so that you could understand all of the derivation. So, ibig sabihin, kahit pabalik-balik-tarin mo, malalaman mo ulit yung sagot gamit yung long method. Yun ang kagandahan ng long method. But in examination, for example, sa LET, hindi ka gagamit nun. Remember, sa LET, time pressured. Sige, subukan yung gamitin yun. O yung kaya mong isagot doon sa susunod na 5 question, naubos lang doon sa isang question. Doon. Sayang yung oras. Importante ang ganun. So, kung kayo mga teacher, ang tanong ko sa inyo, kinakailangan ba nating bigyan ng chance yung estudyante natin na kapag kayo nakapag-generate ng isang bagay, let's say, a solution to one particular problem o problem solving, kahit mali yung solution, pero umarrive doon sa tamang sagot, ano sa tingin ninyo? Kayo sumagot sa akin yan kasi kayo magiging teacher sa math eh. Paano nyo yan i-kate? Paano nyo yan ipapasok sa klase? Mali yung solusyon, pero tama yung sagot. May nangyari na ba yan? Ang dami. Isa na ako sa halimbawa dyan. Pag di ko na kaya, hanap na ako ng ibang method. Okay. Normally, kapag ang pinag-uusapan mathematics, pag wala na talaga, yari na to. Trial and error na yung pinaka gagamitin nyo. Pero yung trial and error method, pinaka last resort nyo na yun. Kung wala na talaga kayong mahuhugot. Kaya ang tanong ko sa inyo ulit, kung kayo teacher, yung estudyante, nasagot niya ng tama, pero pagdating sa solution, mali, or let's say may discrepancy, tatanggapin nyo ba? Come on guys.
Sir, para sa akin po, parang mas maganda po kung kahit po mali yung answer, basta po yung process or yung solution na gawa po niya. Parang, ewan ko, yun yung ang sabi sa amin eh.
Tama talaga.
Parang po, mas
kasi ganito,
kahit mali yung final answer.
Yes. Kaya nga tinatanong ko kayo kasi there is a chance kasi that maybe your student pwede nang gaya lang, okay? Tapos di naman talaga po gumawa ng process or let's say deeply speaking, wala talagang alam or let's say from the very first step di niya alam gawin. So it's better to provide the solution before the answer. Paano mo masasabi yan eh? Di ba may checking part sa lahat ng equation? O sa lahat ng mga mathematical problem. Pag hindi yung bata nakapag-checking, pag mali yung checking niya, ibig sabihin may mali sa solution. O tama yung sinabi mo, dapat talaga mas magayon palugod na i-provide niyo sa solution, dawa sala so simbag. At least yung solution na yan, makokorek yan kasi ganito gagawin ng estudyante. Ma'am, saan ako nagkamali? Sala mo sa exponent mo? Pala na. Mga ganyang bagang bagay. nakalimutan lang ng isang yan eh. So there is there's a problem on the tawag ba dito, on the solution or the equation. Samantalang yung estudyante na nakakuha ng diretsong sagot, paano mo kaniboy na ako? Basta mo kanikan. Ay, mga nakakatakot, di ba? So, importante pala yan, okay? So, balikan natin dito. And then, sabi dyan, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So, according here, is that wisdom in order to ensure the ideas, okay? Ensure that the ideas will help achieve some ethical-based common goods. Ngayon, babalikan ko yung sinabi kanina ni ma'am. Pag kinwestiyon natin yung gawa ng estudyante, mali yung solution mo, Brad. Boy, girl, mali yung solution mo. Tapos nagalit yung estudyante. Ano mafe-feel ng teacher? Sa tingin nyo? Nagreklamo yung estudyante. Ano ang nafe-feel ng isang teacher pag ganon? May nagreklamo na sa inyong ganyan? Wala pa, hindi pa kayo nagtuturo. Pag may mga ganon nagreklamo, okay lang. Bakit? At least yung bata, may pinupoint out. Kaysa naman yung estudyanteng, nakuha nyo na. Opo, yes ma'am, yes sir. Time check. Uwian na. Yan nakakatakot ng estudyante. Kaya ang dami mga estudyante, hirap na hirap sa mathematics because akala nila okay na yun. Okay, makapasa man nga. Kahit hindi man nga ka na kayo puwan pag susunod. Diba? Ang klaro naman yung sinasabi dyan, no? Tingnan nyo. Sabi dyan, wisdom. Wisdom in order to ensure. Ibang ibig sabihin yan eh. Ang ibig sabihin ng wisdom, pagdating ng araw, dahil tinuruan mo ng tama yung bata, magagamit niya yan. Masasabi ko, isa ko sa halimbawa dyan, nung nag-left kami, hindi kami pinalabas ng instructor namin sa review center. Kasi sa BUPC kami yung nag-start ng review center. Sabi ko doon sa department head namin, ma'am, kinakailangan natin magpa-review. O sige nga, mag-review nga ka mo. Pero hindi sabi ko, ma'am, kinakailangan natin mag-hire ng review center, a third party. Bakit nga? Kasi sila, expert sila kung paano magturo para makapasa sa let. In short, nangyari yon. Nung nag-instruct na sa amin sa mathematics, inisa-isa kami. So, ginawa sa amin, papasagutan muna yung mga questions and then afterwards, magkakaroon ng rationalization. Yun ang maganda sa let. Sa let, tuturuan ko kung paano mapadali. Pero kagandaan kasi doon, pag rationalization, hindi pwedeng madalian. Talagang ipapaliwanag lahat. Doon namin nalaman isa-isa, wala ni kadto. Katali kadsawa na ituro. Hindi, sabi ng instructor namin, hindi, tinuro yan sa inyo. Wala ka lang sa classroom noon or wala lang yung isip mo sa classroom. Tama nga naman. Mga panahon kaya ka doon, pardota man sa nakaw. Maganda kasi yung tournament palagi malakas yung pustahan. Mas priority pa yung laro. Ayan, so yun ang ibig sabihin netong ang slide na to. Okay, let's proceed po, ma'am.
Next slide po. Tayo, sir.
Okay.
So according to Sternberg, your role as a teacher is not to educate the mind alone but to educate the soul as well. So ang pagkakagets ko po dito sa statement po ni Sternberg is hindi lang po as a teacher, hindi lang po natin tuturuan yung estudyante about education, about sa basics sa English and Math, but yung soul din po kasi matalino nga yung bata, wala namang so naman yung ugali, di ba po? Parang ang pwede po diyan sisihin yung yung teacher or yung parents. So dapat as a teacher, not only we do not only educate the mind alone but the soul as well. Yun.
Kaya nga bilang isang guro, sabi ko sa iyo kanina, alalahanin niyo rin kung may problema yung estudyante. Like kanina ginawa natin, kung di na talaga kaya, okay lang. 'Di ba? Di adet, bad bapaknet. Let's proceed. Yan.
Let's proceed po. Sternberg also proposed that while education develop analytical and practical intelligence as well as creativity, wisdom should be an integral part of the whole process. So yun po. Ito pong analytical, practical, creative wisdom, matatakal po yan natin po sa susunod pong slide, sir. Diretso ko na po.
Okay.
Yan. So next, we are going to talk about applying the WICS model. So, the use of the WICS model includes admission, instruction, and assessment. However, in this discussion, we shall only focus on the model's instructional and assessment's use. Okay, so one way that you can apply WICS model in instruction is when you reflect and make choices on the tasks and activities that you will give to teach and assess your students. So there are 4 models, yung na-mention nga po kanina. You can choose either to teach analytically, creatively, practically, and teaching wisdom. So your choice can be based on the preference and strength of your learners. Okay, so
Kaya
next
pala.
po.
Okay.
Yes po, sa next. So now we're going to discuss on how to teach analytically. So the word analytically is very familiar to us na kasi gamay na word po ang word na analytically. We can make use of this po we can make use of this by making our students use their thinking capabilities. So making your students use critical thinking design tasks and activities that provides opportunity for your learners to analyze, critique, judge, compare and contrast, evaluate, and assess. So yun po. Para po mas lalo natin maintindihan po itong classifications, may examples po ako, sir. Next slide. Okay, so in analyze, for example, analyze the development of the character of Ibarra in Noli Me Tangere. So, ang analyze to study or determine the nature and relationship of the parts of something. So, yun po analyze. So, next po is critique. For example, critique the design and features of the latest smartphone. So, ang critique po is an act of criticizing. Okay, so next po, sir, sa judge.
Okay.
Judge. Next po is judge. For example, judge the artistic merits of the Filipino cartoonist Larry Alcala's Slice of Life. So, ang judge po to form an opinion through carefully weighing of evidences. So, next po is compare and contrast. For example, compare and contrast the Italian approaches of Montessori and Reggio Emilia in early childhood education. So, ang compare and contrast to look the difference among 2 or more elements.
Okay.
So, next po, sir.
Evaluate
Next po is evaluate. For example, evaluate the validity, the theory of evolution. Write a term paper on this. So, ang evaluate to determine the significance, worth, or condition of usually be careful appraisal and study. Then last po is assess. For example, assess the strategy of the Manila City Government to improve the traffic situation around the city. So, ang assess po to estimate or judge the worth or importance of something. So, para po sa madaling salita, ang teaching for analytically, parang we make use of the students' thinking capabilities para po ma-enhance yung analyzing skills nila. So, yun po, sir. Thinking of analytically.
Ayun, so well said, ma'am. Okay, wala na akong idadagdag. So mga ka-eduk, napakalino naman po ng explanation ni ma'am. Okay? So, I think tapos na dito si ma'am. Ang dami niyang tinakal itong dalawa natin kasi halos sila po yung umubos nung ano. Sila yung nag-cover up po ng mga discussion ng ibang discussant natin ngayong hapon. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, huwag kayong alis and we'll be right back. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back sa ating Bora Bora live stream session. And this is your host, Jika Sensei. And time check is already 3:35 in the afternoon. So, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Okay, maulang hapon po sa atin. Marami yung ano yan, na bad trip kanina. Alam niyo nung ibig kong sabihin? So, meron naman pong umepal kanina. Kaya sa mga gamit ng mga discussants na mo, nagkararot. Susad po, nag-overheat. Siya nakintaan na, inabot pa. Baan na po ko siya sa Kumariusep. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, ang ating pinag-uusapan ngayong hapon sa ating mga nagbabalik views. Okay, sa ating mga viewers right now is about Module 17. And that is Successful Learning Theory and the WICS or W.I.C.S. model. Okay? To continue this discussion, okay? Let's go on now sa ating next discussion. We have Ma'am Sherilyn K. Palakay. Ma'am?
Hello, once again po. Good afternoon. So, the next part of the WICS model is the creativity. So, how do we teach creatively? First, it is important for you to encourage and sustain your students' creative ideas. By fostering creativity through learning can range from simple team building exercises to complex, open-ended problems, as well as it may require a problem to solve. Next, we should remember to be an example to them by taking the risk to share your own creative ideas. Here, a teacher that represents innovative and challenging prompts will encourage students to work creatively through a problem with a solution. So, let us all think out of the box creatively. By doing this, next slide po, sir.
Okay.
Teachers also need to design tasks and activities that help students to create, to invent, to discover, to imagine, to suppose, and to predict. As the first tasks and activities, as an example of create an alternative ending to Florante at Laura. Here, it is tackled in the literature subject. It requires structured content with clear objectives. And the whole idea of this is teaching to create is to engage and excite learners so they could choose to drive their own proactive exploration into the given subject.
Tama.
Next po is to invent. Teachers facilitating tasks and activities must identify a problem and then invent a unique solution. As an example, from Araling Palipunan subject, invent a dialogue that would transpire if Jose Rizal and Ninoy Aquino met. By helping students to invent,
Alam nyo, tama yan, ma'am. Sa invent. Actually, it's, sa ano yan pwede natin tawagin dyan, si inferring and giving new perspective. Alam mo, tinanong yan sa amin ni Ambet Ocampo, mag-seminar sa amin. Ano nga yan? Ito yung sabi nakakaloka to. Parang yung sabi mo, ma'am, paano ko mag-meet yung Sir Slap? Sabi ko, magsira ulo naman mga tanong na to eh. Ganun pala yun. Ito yung sabi sa amin ni Sir Ambet Ocampo. Sabi niya, seminar. Paano daw ang sasabihin ng mga isda nung una nilang nakita si Magellan sa pangpangdagat ng Samar? Ano ko, sira ulo to. Kaya pala galit sa kanya yung national artist. May halong chismis. Isa yon, pero ang kagandahan kasi nito, kung nabasa nyo na ang mga libro ni Anes, just to set aside first our topic about sa math, kung nabasa nyo na ang libro ni Ambet Ocampo, I'm not actually promoting his books, pero maganda siya. Parang libro siya parang ganun yung style ni Lord. Kilala niyo si Lord? Si Lord de Vera? Yung sa TV5? Oo. Yung commercial ng ano yan, ng Mangwan. Okay. So, yung word na ano yan, invent, in terms of academics, kasi ang invent pwedeng gamitin yan sa ano yan, sa industry. Yung nag-invent ng bagay. So, yung invent pagdating sa academic is you're just interpreting or let's say giving new perspective to one's idea or let's say facts that happened with evidences. So, ibig sabihin, what if? Yan ba yan? Paano kaya kung ganun? So, kung gumawa ka ng isang kasulatan ng what if, so nabibigyan mo ng bagong perspektibo yung viewers, yung listener. Okay? Kung maalala nyo kung kayo nanonood, ladies and gentlemen, ng, ano tawag ba dito? Nanonood kayo ng knowledge channel, tapos yung, ano nga yun? Yung sa History TV, yung History channel, nanonood kayo niya sa History channel, may part dyan na ano yan yung show is about aliens and gods. Yung ikino-compare nila yung mga gods, na yung mga gods daw ay alien, galing sa ibang bansa, galing sa ibang planeta, napadpad daw dito sa Earth. Tapos pinanood ko yung isang segment ng documentary. May chances na pong mahina ang paniniwala mo kung hindi ka empirical mag-isip. Ano yan? Mabibrainwash ka. May mga ganong position dito sa yan. So, yun yung nakakatakot din dito sa invent. Okay? Pero ang trabaho kasi ng teacher dito is to facilitate. Okay? Let's proceed, ma'am.
So through inventing, it helps students identify a problem or something that needs improvement.
Oh, yun na
So,
nga. Oo,
The
kasi
students,
sige sige ma'am. Diretso.
so the students also research the problem and get further ideas to the solutions using creative thinking and making connection to it. So as they learn from their mistakes and repeat the invention process until they have a successful ideas and knowledge about a certain topic.
Yun. So yung tanong ko doon, paano kaya naging successful yung pag-iisip ng mga ano yan, ng mga
Inventors.
makabagong writer natin ngayon? Alam mo kung paano naging successful? Doon sa sales ng books. Ang daming bumili. Hindi lang kasi kayo masyadong sigurong lapitin yung mga word na ano yan. Kasi ako, mahilig ako sa mga ganyung uri ng informative ano yan, books. Mga makabagong kasaysayan ng libro. Madami ako niyan. Yung 101 Stories, of course, by Ambet Ocampo. Ang dami yung ano yan eh. Yung kasaysayan noon, chismis ngayon. Actually, part siya nung ano yan eh. Parang televised series ni Lord Rivera sa TV5. Kasaysayan noon, chismis ngayon. Kasi binigyan talaga nila ng bagong ano yan, ng perspektibo yung mga bagay-bagay noon na di natin alam. Meron palang mga bakla sa katipunan. Ha? Sabi ko, pero nangyaring ganun? Meron, kasi meron po talagang mga ebidensya na nakasulat na may dalawang katipunerong nag-iibigan. Meron pinakita ko. So, di yung tinuro sa amin nung high school Oo, meron pong ganun. Okay? So, let's proceed, ma'am.
So, the third one is to discover. Yan. As an example, in a science subject, discover a way to explain why heavy ships float at a sea. So, through teaching to discover something, it is papasok po dito yung discovery learning ng students. It takes place in problem-solving situations where the learner or the students draw on his or her own experience with prior knowledge, and it is a method of instruction through which students interact with their environment by exploring and manipulating objects and wrestling questions and mga controversies po. And they can perform also experiments by discovering.
Yes.
So, the next one is to imagine. Imagination drives students' discovery also. So, incorporating it into the classroom prepares students for a future of creating innovative solutions. Through imagination po, it supports learning and the acquisition of the knowledge. As an example of this, imagine if the EDSA revolution did not happen in 1986. What do you think our country will be like at present and 10 years later? So, students use their imagination to explore new knowledge about a certain topic or any ideas of it. It is distinguished the ability to store, reproduce a new existing knowledge, and the ability to draw together, creating new ideas and possibilities about a certain outcome. So, through this imagination, nagiling po dito ang creativity that the students use their imagination that supports their capacity for creative thinking as well as it will equip them for success in school as well as in their life.
Tama. Well said, ma'am. Okay. Hasang halimbawa nito, yung Squid Game. Nung una, ayaw ko niyan, ano bang Squid Game na sabi sa akin ni Mrs. Manood kayo ng maganda. Hindi, para kikita, nagsusunagapo na, marathon pati. Ba't kayo yung mga babae, pag kayo nanood ng K-drama, isang araw lang yan. Pinauno mo? Isang araw nyo, kasi it's around, I think, 25 to 30 minutes, di ba? Or let's say 1 hour isang episode. Isang na episode yun, maghapon. Naubos. Ako kasi, ginagawa ko sa isang araw, isa lang. Okay. Paano natin masasabi na yung isang successful yung Squid Game? Naku naman po, sa sales pa lang po ng Netflix, alam naman ninyo kung gaano po kadami yung benta nun. No? Tapos, pagdating dun sa ito yung tinatopic ni Ma'am ngayon, it's about imagining. 'Di ba nabasa niyo naman sa ano yan, sa mga news or let's say sa mga journals na yung Squid Game daw 2009 pa sinulat. Pero daw since kakaiba yung story, remember in 2009, what's that? Elementary pa kayo noon. Ang gustong-gusto ng market bilhin is yung mga love, romantic na Korean drama. Not this new ones. Nagkataon si Netflix mahilig sa mga makabagong or let's say something that is existential. Something that is moderately tawag ba dito? Moderately fair viewing. Tapos sci-fi. Yan ang gusto ng Netflix ngayon kasi mas madami ngayong viewers na, di naman sinasabi ko mga si Raul, mas madami mga viewers ngayon na iba na ang gusto. Iba na yung hanap nila. Kayo nga, napanood nyo na yan, Squid Game? Natapos nyo na, di ba? So, magugulat ka na lang, ang ganda pala ng story kasi iba. Tapos sabi ng mga director natin dito sa Pilipinas, nagagalit sila because tinatangkilik natin yung not to prejudging them, but sabi ko naman, my opinion, ganda nyo naman kasi ang script dito sa Philippine drama kasi iba na ang mga viewers ngayon. My God, culture changes. You mean to say, yung script nyo dati, 1990s and 1980s, yung pa rin script natin ngayon, iba na po. So, ganun po yung nangyari doon sa Squid Game. So, it's a product of imagination, but it takes a long year, maybe, how many years? Bago siya natangkilik ng tao. So, may tamang panahon pala talaga, di ba? Kaya kung wala pa kayong jowa, may tamang panahon dyan. Yusuf. Okay, let's proceed, ma'am.
So, another task or activities that can help student is by teaching suppose that. For example, suppose that you were to design a computer game to help children learn about love and sacrifice. Describe the game you will create. This is in the subject of computer education and edukasyon sa pagpapakatao.
Yeah.
It is where to assume something without conviction or to assume something with full understanding or of the knowledge. By teaching this to the students, it needs to think of something as happening or being true to imagine. Papasok yung imagination pa rin. What might happen or what the students think of an idea to create something that builds his or her understanding about what they believe is true. And lastly po, activities that help students to predict. As teachers teach students to make predictions, they must be sure that students are making valid and reasonable predictions that are not just based on what is happening in the book that they are reading but also supported by their own personal experiences. Kapareho po nito yung imagination and true discoveries. As an example, predict changes that will happen if humans had a third eye at the back of their heads. Choose an appliance or gadget that would need to be changed in order to be useful and propose a new functional designs. It is in the subject of HELE, Home Economics and Livelihood Education. From this example, making predictions is a strategy also of the teachers to design tasks and activities that truly engage the students. When students make predictions, as they read and propose, they become excited ahead to see what happens next. Yung parang rin po to imagination. So it helps students also be an active and alert to what he or she is doing about the activities by solving a problem and making something with predictions. So in summary po, how do we teach creatively? So by teaching creatively, it allows students to express their ideas freely, to think outside the box and learn faster and more effectively.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Well
So,
said.
thank you po.
Ayun. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, sa mga nanonood ngayon, kung mapansin ninyo, ito pong didiscuss ni ma'am, okay, ito po ay actually pwede ninyo at talagang nakikita sa loob ng classroom. Okay, this is the WICS or WICS model. Okay, so literally speaking, pag ito po ay ginamit natin sa mga learners natin, ang tanong ko sa inyo, is this a lower order thinking skill or higher order thinking skill? Ano sa tingin nyo? Ito ba ay LATs or HATs?
Hats po ata, sir.
Yep, HATs to. So, ang tanong dito sa inyo, gagamit ba kayo ng WICS model? Or let's say, i-incorporate nyo ba ang WICS model sa inyong methodology kung kayo ay magtuturo sa lower section? Yes or no? Iba-ibang opinion. Oo, depende sa teacher. Okay. So, nakita natin dito yung mga word kanina. So, balikan natin yan para sa mga viewers natin. Okay, so, meron dyan, di ba? Analyze, critique, compare, contrast, evaluate, assess. Okay? So, in-explain kanina mo yung mga sample, di ba? In-explain to kanina. So, itong mga term na to, kung mapapansin nyo, ladies and gentlemen, okay, mga viewers natin, saan po siya papasok doon sa cognitive, ano yan? Tawag mo dito, cognitive development theory ni Jean Piaget. Yung organize, analyze, synthesize, create, evaluate. Di ba lahat yun HATs? Yung sa Bloom's taxonomy? Higher order na yun, di ba? Kasi yung knowing, understanding, comprehension, yun lang yung nasa lower order thinking skill. So in short, kung kayo mo magtuturo gamit ito, or let's say, i-cater natin yung WICS model, dapat ba si teacher aware sa learning capabilities ng mga bata? Yes or no? Okay? Kahit naka-off mic nyo, okay lang?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Normal lang yan. Pag may mga ganyan talaga, nakakalimutan, okay lang yan. Di ako nagagalit. Kasi ganyan rin ako dati eh. Dadak ako lang dadak, naka-off pala. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, yun po yung in-explain kanina ni ma'am. Okay, regarding dito sa design task activities. So, kung mapapansin niyo dito sa screen, I'm going to flash present you, okay? Ayan. So, sabi dito ni ma'am, this is a design task activities to help students. Ibig sabihin, ma'am, sino magpe-prepare ng task? Si teacher or yung ano yan, estudyante? Sino magpe-prepare ng task?
Teacher po.
Very good. Ngayon, sino ang gagawa?
Students.
Very good. Alam nga naman, ikaw pa yung gumawa. Unga mo, simbag mo. Nakakaloka. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, okay, ito po yung diniscuss kanina ni ma'am. Just to have a little recap, that's to create, invent, discover, imagine, suppose that, and predict. So ito yung gagawa, or let's say ito yung magbibigay sa estudyante, or let's say it will spice up your learning activities inside the classroom kung may mga ganitong uri ng activity or task. Remember, this is part of the HATs or higher order thinking skill. In short, it will create more of not just the memory skill, but more on the analytic and creative and of course the practical skill development of the student. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, huwag kayong alis and we'll be right back. Okay, so what's up ulit mga kaeduk? This is your host, Seiji Kasensai, and welcome back akin dito sa ating Bura-Bura live stream session. Okay, so kanina natutunan natin, okay, about successful intelligence theory and yung idea po about or the context, okay, about the WICS or the W.I.C.S model. So ngayon, pag-usapan naman natin is kung paano magturo ng practicality sa mga estudyante. Nako, ito yung importante ngayon because I'm an advocate of pragmatism. Gusto ko yung practical kasi sa hirap ng buhay ngayon, dapat magturo po or let's say magbigay ng solution on the most practical way. So let's proceed na po sa ating next discussion. We have Ma'am Marian Martiliana. Ma'am, ikaw na po.
Po, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's move now on how to teach practically. Diba, as mentioned a while ago, practical skills means how the learners apply what they have learned in real life situations. And that is very important in teaching. And most of our teachers use this idea. So if you want to use to teach practically, lagi mong tandaan na dapat yung mga tinuturo mo sa mga bata is magagamit nila in real life. Yun po. Okay. So how do you teach practically? For a teacher to teach practically, they should design tasks and activities that allow their students to apply, use, put into practice, implement, employ, and render practical what they know. Here are some examples. Next slide po, sir.
Ayan ah. Natutulog. Okay, sige ma'am.
Apply addition concept in determining number of boys and girls in the classroom. So, yung natutunan ng bata sa pag-compute is magagamit niya para malaman kung ilan sila sa loob ng classroom. Kaya 'di ba, kung mapapansin niyo nung mga bata pa tayo, mga elementary days, yung mga pa-activity sa atin ng mga teachers natin is more on how many fruits does John have? Like for example, ganun po.
Ba't palagi si John? Palagi si John yung example. Susumbong kayo kay sir.
Kapatid ko yun, sir.
Okay.
Next example, use the knowledge of Excel to keep track of daily household expenses. Use. Yung natutunan mo sa paggamit ng Excel is magagamit mo para matrack yung expenses mo sa bahay.
Yes. Gawa ko yun.
Sa experience ko naman, nung high school ako, yung teacher namin, tinuruan kami kung paano mag-compute ng general average ng students gamit yung Excel. Then, pinagamit kami ni sir, kami mismo, naggamit nung Excel, tapos pinakompute sa amin yung mga grades namin. Yun.
Pinakompute sa inyo yung mga grades nyo?
Example.
Talaga?
Tapos
Ayos ah. Kwan lang yun. It's just a form of example. Pero talaga, ang tatrabaho ng teacher. Kaya para, check ninyo yung general weighted mean nyo kung kamusta naman. Oo. Sige. Tapos pag ikaw yung gumawa, papalitan mo yung mga raw score. Perfect yan lahat. Okay, let's proceed, ma'am.
Which is, yung learning ko doon is magagamit ko, lalo na ngayon dahil yung course nga na kinuha ako is education. Very useful yun.
Mathematics pa. Okay.
Yes, sir. Then, the third example, put into practice what you learn about classroom rules in making your own classroom rules poster. Dito more on performance na siya, performance task yung mga natutunan. Like, example ko naman, sa sarili ko na naman is nung grade 4 ako, sa subject na EPP, yung subject namin is more on pagtatahi, di ba? Then, yung teacher namin noon, yung pa-project niya sa amin is magtahi kami mismo ng sarili namin
panty.
Yun. An example pa, tong pinapagawa sa amin ni sir. So, ito sir, yung pag-discuss namin, put into practice po to. Kasi yung parang nire-ready na kami pag sa future, 'di ba, magiging teacher kami. Magdi-discuss kami in front
hindi pa natin alam kung kailan babalik yung face to face. Baka mag-live stream din kayo. 'Di ba ngayon, mapansin niyo sa DepEd, puro live stream lecture, live stream discussion, ang mga model, puro lahat naka-live stream. Mga ganyan. Tapos ano yan, more on digital na. Sige. Let's proceed, ma'am.
And the last example, implement a lesson plan that one has made. Dito, own experience ko na naman is ngayong college ako sa first year. Si Sir Estrado, 'di ba? Pinagawa kami ng lesson plan.
Okay, so dahil nabati mo na rin si Sir. Okay, Sir Restrado, shout out po sa inyo. Sana nanonood ka ngayon. Okay, sige ma'am, proceed po. Ano yung pinagawa ni Sir? Sige na, patuloy mo
Yung
na.
lesson plan po, si Sir, pinagawa kami yung syempre related din sa major namin. Pinagawa kami ni Sir ng lesson plan na related sa major namin, which is mathematics.
Okay.
That's
Third year.
all. And to sum it up, malalaman mo kung yung teacher mo is nagtuturo practically kung yung mga task niya is more on application type.
Kaya pala. Tama. Oo nga naman. Kasi may kilala ko niyan eh. Hindi ko sasabihin yung pangalan. Nagtuturo na TLE. Nagpa-drawing ng drill gun. Ano? Pinadrawing nga kami sa drill gun, nilagyan ng different parts. Bakit drawing yung drill gun? Sabi ko, mali. Bakit nga, sir? Ano gagawin namin sa drill gun? O kung yun sa barina, barina ninyo sa semento para magamit ninyo. Bakit maglalagay kayo name the parts of the drill gun? Hindi naman kayo magde-design ng drill gun. Tuturo sa inyo kung paano gamitin yung barina. Aray ko lang tanglay kan mga wanikan. Ba't ganun yung approach? Mali. Okay. So, tama yun, ma'am. So, dapat interrupt. Sige, proceed na kita. Okay, sige.
Sige po. Yan lang po, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Ma'am Marion Martiliana. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed po sa ating last topic na po. And we have here the how do you teach for wisdom. Okay, sino po dito sa inyo?
Ako na po, sir, ulit.
Lambenta ni Ella. Sige, go, Ma'am Ella. Ay, Ma'am Ellen pala, Ma'am Ella. Okay, sige, sige po.
Hi! So, hello. Good afternoon again po. So, for the fourth application of the WICS model, how do you teach for wisdom?
Okay.
It is important for the learners to balance one's own needs with the needs of the other people and also that of the world or the environment. It is developing your learners to consistently act based on positive ethical values. So you teach for wisdom when you are able to move your students to first. Next slide po tayo, sir. First is try to find a common good. So, ang common good po is dapat po is beneficial or yung interest is for everyone.
Yan.
For example po is, the example here is, what might be a solution for the common good in the Philippines and China claim on Spratlys Island under the Araling Panlipunan or the political science. So, laking issue to since then pa sa Pilipinas. And alam naman po natin na I think there are many studies na nagsasabi yung Spratly Islands is belong talaga siya sa Philippines. At ni-recognize naman to ng mga international ano na din. But then,
May arbitral ruling na yan.
opo, but then yung China
Wala,
is
kupal talaga yung China.
nagko-continue pa rin silang mag-build doon at kung ano-ano pang ginagawa nila.
O ayaw
So
papigil.
doon po, yes po sir. So doon po, parang hindi na makikita yung common good doon. So as a teacher, i-impart mo din po kung paano sa isang estudyante maho-hone yung pagkakaroon po ng thinking na dapat ang mga ginagawa mo is beneficial to everyone.
Anyan, tawag dyan. It's yung philosophy na utilitarianism. Yung jowa mo para sa lahat. Ano yung philosophy ng jowa mo? Matalino yung ano yan yung nangangaliwa. Ako ay ano yan, para sa common good. Gagamitin ko yung katawan ko para sa lahat. Visit ka? nagpagamit ka na pala ngayon bago sa akin. Utilitarianism ang tawag doon. Yung jowa mo para sa lahat, Sus Kumar Yosef. Iwanan mo na yan. Let's proceed, ma'am.
Red flag na yun, sir.
Oo.
So, next is, see things from others' point of view. So, ang i-example ko dito is yung the golden rule. I think, do not do unto others what you do not want to do unto you.
Mm-mm.
So, pag may nakaaway ka, for example, nasaktan mo siya, and then, iisipin mo, ibililagay mo yung position mo sa kanya, what if nangyari din pala yun sa akin? What if nangyari din pala yun sa akin? Anong gagawin ko? So, parang doon, papaisipin mo yung estudyante or yung tao mismo na kung paano niya maiintindihan yung tao na din yun. Kasi yung sitwasyon na yun or something like that. Kasi na-experience mo na alam mo na kung paano, kung ano yung nagiging epekto nun sa kanya. Parang ganun, sir.
Parang lumalalim na. Parang paiba na yung ano yan, ha?
Away lang yun, sir. Kung away bata, ganun.
Gano'n. Akala ko, seryoso na to. Sige, let's proceed.
So, for the third is balance your own interest with those of others and of institution. Yung example dito is, should parents expect their children to take care of them when they are old and why? So doon, if ganun yung magiging pagturo mo sa student, kunwari, tinanong mo sila nun, parang mas may maiisip pa sila kung ano yung dapat ba talaga or something like that. Balance ko this or that. Shit, naubos na yung brain ko kanina.
Naubos yung brain cell niya. Okay, tulungan ko si ma'am. Pag sinabi natin balance your own interest with those the other and of institution is alongside this yung sinabi ko kaning utilitarianism, okay? Pag medyo nakakasama na sa iba, stop muna. Okay, yan yung nangyari kay Mayor Isko ngayon kasi medyo madami yung nasabi ni Mayor Isko. So, medyo ngayon kung napansin nyo kanina, kasi nanood ako kanina nung kanilang parang propaganda grand rally doon sa Batangas. Medyo nag-iba yung timpla ng tono ni Mayor Isko. Kasi nakita niya parang napasobra yata siguro yung kanyang sinabi last time. Kaya parang medyo lumagpas doon sa linya. Kaya ngayon, although sa kanyang party, nakakapagpalakas yung mga sinasabi niya. Kanina, kung napansin nyo, kung nanood kayo, nag-live stream din kanina yung isa sa mga ang producers nung campaign is, tawag ba dito? Medyo balance na yung atake ni Mayor ni Yorme. Hindi na masyadong patama. Kaya yung sabi niya kanina, para na lang, ito ngayon yung sinasabi ko is para na sa pangkalahatan. Boses na ako ng masa. Okay, parang ganun. So, yun ang ibig sabihin ng balance your own interest. Okay, let's proceed, ma'am.
So, for the fourth one is, look at the long term as well as the short term. For example, ngayon pa lang na estudyante tayo, ang ginagawa ko ba is sapat na para ma-prepare na ako in teaching? May nagkawa kasi, sir. So, yun, parang iisipin mo, yung ginagawa mo ngayon, sapat na ba siya? So, parang hold mo na din yung students mo to look for the long-term effect na din, yung mga actions na ginagawa niya for now.
Ayun, yung word na, sapat na ba ako sa'yo? Mga ganun bagay. Sapat na ba yung ginawa ko para sa'yo? Nagtatanong ka na for long term, di ba? Parang diretso sa kasalan na to. Sapat na ba yon? Kulang pa ba? Isasagad na ba natin? Mga ganun bagay, di ba? Mga ganyan, wag mo na kayo papasok sa mga relationship. Enjoy nyo muna pagka-single niya. Let's proceed, ma'am. Pero wag naman kayo magsi-single for long term, ha? Diyos ko, Mariusip. Di naman ganun, okay? Wait for the right time. Okay, let's proceed po, ma'am.
So, the fifth one is reflect about how one can be basis every decision on positive ethical values. Yung example po dito is it ever ethical to shoot down a plane with civilians and terrorists on board if the terrorists plan to slam the plane to a building with thousands of people. So parang matitest dito yung moral dilemma ng isang estudyante. Sa mga actions pa lang ng estudyante is dapat nakabatay pa rin sa kung ano yung makakabuti talaga in general.
Okay? And last?
And the last is appreciate that in life, what is seen as true and effective may vary over time and place. The example here is how does parenting change over time? What would you say are different from than before? Alam naman natin na sa buhay talaga wala naman talagang walang constant, laging may pagbabago. So, yung kunwari sinasabi ng parents natin, kami ganito noon, dapat ganito ka din ngayon. Which is parang, for me, medyo hindi na masyadong effective for today.
Oo nga. Hindi talaga. Kasi nagbabago-bago nga yan eh. Kabiling-bili na lang topic natin ngayon sa ating mga viewers. That intelligence changes the way the culture changes as well. Your intelligence changes the way your society changes too. Nagbabago rin yung ating karunungan. Remember, iba po ang kaalaman sa karunungan. So nagbabago yung intelligence natin pagdating po sa mga bagay-bagay na nangyayari sa buhay natin. For example, di natin inaasahan na ganito mangyari. So there is some point of your life that some of your principles in life will be jeopardized or let's say, will be challenged. Nagbabago-bago yan eh. Yung akala mo ikaw yung tama palagi dati, nung nakahanap ka ng katapat, nagbago ka eh, di ba? So napansin mo, nagkaroon ka ng tinatawag nating soulmate. Alam mo yung konsepto, ladies, ng soulmate, di ba? Siya daw yung tao. Papayo ko sa inyo, no? Pang love life na to eh. Dear Ate Charo, joke lang. Yung soulmate is the idea of a certain person that makes you challenging. Or let's say that challenges you. Yan pala yung soulmate. Oo. Subukan yung tanongin yung mga nanay at tatay ninyo. Paano kayo nagkaibigan? Hindi yan nagsimula sa romance. Nagsimula muna yan sa awayan. Nagsimula muna yan sa batuhan. Bago yung kadramahan. Subukan nyo mamaya. Tanongin yung mga parents ninyo. Mapa, paano ka mo laging mag-on? Nagsimula ba kayo sa yan? Yung mga ganung bagay. So, tama yung sabi mo, ma'am. Kasi number 6, diba yun? Appreciate that in life, what is seen as true and effective may vary over time and place. Okay? May mga ganyan kasi, lalong-lalo na yung mga bagay na nawala sa'yo, mas ibabalyo mo pala pag wala na. May mga ganyan eh. Dati taken for granted. Kung naanap mo. Diba? Nung kamo, daasan na. Nung nag-break na, paranap ba? Tapos may nagparapamatik pa sa kung pwede ngayon magkabalikan. Ay, mga wanikan pa inapunduan na kan. Noong mga panahon na kamo, di inyo na-value sa mga sadiri ninyo. Anyway, may kasabihan nga talaga, di ba? Ano yan? Yung mga bagay na nandyan lang, ay minsan ay nababaliwala. Mga ganon bagay. So, we should learn to appreciate. So, ang tanong dito, ma'am, etong 6 na to, sino ba, ma'am, ang magtuturo niyan sa learners?
Yung teacher po, sir, but then yung students pa rin po yung dapat ma-hone dyan.
Yes, ayos. So, let's proceed na po. Eto na.
So, balikan natin yung sinabi ni Berg. Your role as a teacher is not to educate the mind alone, but to educate the soul as well. So, to sum it up, the W.I.C.S. model. The W.I.C.S. model has been used not only for instruction, but also for admission and assessment. The W.I.C.S. model was successful for teachers and their learners because first, it celebrated the differences of learners through a supportive learning environment. Second, it made students remember better what they learned. Third, build on the strengths of the learners. And lastly, it strengthened the motivations of the learners. So that's all for the W.I.C.S. model. And I think it ends our discussion here, sir.
Alright, thank you very much, Ma'am Elaine May Florin. Okay, so to sum this up, meron po akong ipapaliwanag ulit sa inyo. Baka hindi po ito nakita ng mga viewers natin. Just a little review. Mga kaibigan, okay, naka-on yung isang mic doon na nag-feedback. Diba yung kanino ba yun? Okay? So, tingnan natin mga ka-edu. Hulaan natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng W. Ladies and gentlemen, ang W po, ang ibig sabihin po niyan is wisdom. Okay? So, baka naluktosan natin kanina kasi kung unong mga glitch nangyari. So, ang ibig sabihin po ng W sa WICS is wisdom. And I naman po, it pertains to intelligence. Okay? And then the C stands for creativity. Okay? And the last letter is synthesis, which is S. Kaya ibig sabihin ng WICS is wisdom, intelligence, creativity, and synthesis. Okay? So si teacher, tayo lang po yung magpa-facilitate nito sa loob ng classroom just to give the students this WICS model or let's say to promote successful learning theory. Pero ang magtatrabaho po talaga nito mga ka-eduk is kayo, learner. Wala naman pong iba. Remember, you are the captain of your soul. Ladies and gentlemen, dito po nagtatapos ang ating discussion ngayong hapon and I hope madami po kayong natutunan sa amin. Okay? Kasi ako madaming natutunan lalong-lalo na kung paano magtrabaho ng paputol-putol na discussant. Hindi, joke lang. Paputol-putol na scene. Kasi yung supposedly ilan tayo dapat? Siyam? Di ba siyam tayo? Nagi na lang pong 4. So, ganun po talaga, ladies and gentlemen, ng buhay. Nagbabago-bago po according here dito sa ating discussion ng successful learning theory. Okay? So, nag-iba rin yung mood namin kanina kasi nung una, gustong-gusto, ngayon, pawala na ng pawala. Kasi po, nagsialisa na po yung iba. Ang rason, ladies and gentlemen, is technical glitches. So, pasensya na po. Hindi po namin hawak talaga ang internet speed. Yun nga lang, kahit papaano, we compensate. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, maraming salamat po sa ating mga viewers, lalong-lalo po sa ating mga discussants ngayong hapon. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, ladies. Okay, so once again, let's have a huling bate or word of thanks coming from our discussant. Okay, so let's start with Ma'am Elaine Mayflorin. Ma'am, pa-shoutout na po, ma'am. Come on.
So, thank you po sa lahat ng nanood and especially sa iyo, sir, sa pag-intindi po sa mga nangyari kanina. So, thank you po.
Okay, sanay na ako dyan, be. Thank you very much, Ma'am Elaine Florin. Okay? And we have Ma'am Charlene K. Palakay. Ma'am, word of thanks po.
Sir, thank you po ulit po. And shoutout po sa WICS Math Fam.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you po, sir.
Alright, thank you very much, Ma'am Charlene. And Ma'am Akila. Word of thanks, Ma'am.
Yes. Thank you po, sir, sa pag-intindi po sa mga putol-putol and hapal po sa WICS Math 3 and sa mga kagrupo namin hindi
Yun.
nakapag-discuss.
Oh, tama. Shoutout po sa mga pasensya na po, hindi kasi namin kayo pinapasok dahil po medyo jeopardize yung ating live streaming, pero I hope you understand po. Di bale, parayo kang grade. Ay, di nag-discuss, magkagrupo naman kayo eh. Okay. So, thank you very much, Ma'am Akila and si Ma'am Marian. Ma'am, word of thanks po.
Thank you po, sir, sa pag-intindi sa amin and pag-gets ng mga lesson namin. Thank you po. Saka sa group mates ko. Thank you sa inyo sa pagsalo.
Alright. Shout out, ma'am, sa ating mga viewers. Come on. Mga nanay nyo. Meron pa kayong gustong ibate? Nanay, tatay nyo?
Wala na, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much ating mga discussants. Okay, so baka may gusto pa kayong i-shout out? Meron pa naman tayong konting minuto pa natitira. Come on. Baka may gusto, i-check nyo yung ating Facebook Live. Baka meron dyan gusto magpa-shoutout, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Baka meron gusto magpa-shoutout. Wala na ba?
Hello po sa mga nasa comment section.
Ayan.
Thank you po.
Okay. So, baka yan? Ang natawag ba dito? Nawalan din sila kanina ng yan? Ng internet kasi maraming salamat sa ating yan? Ang electric cooperative. Saya po. Ang saya. Dahil sa inyo may nasira yung cellphone ng discussant namin. Well, anyway, thank you very much ulit sa ating mga discussant. Okay, sila po ulit si Ma'am Elaine Mayflorin. Thank you very much, Ma'am. And si Ma'am Charlene K. Palakay. Thank you very much, Ma'am. Ma'am Akila. ang napili ni Ma'am. Ma'am Aquila Marie Espinar. Thank you very much, Ma'am. And si Ma'am Marion Martiliana. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am. Makakatulog na tayong dalawa later. para tayo walang ano yan. Kasi pagkatapos ko dito, nagpo-produce ako sir ng ano yan, ng music si sir niya. Okay? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, sila po ulit ang ating mga discussion ngayong hapon po with regards sa ating discussion or topic. And that is Module 17, Successful Learning Theory and the WICS Model along Facilitating Learner-Centered Teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is your host, Educa Center, at nag-iwan sa inyo ng isang katagang in this time of pandemic para matuto ng malupet, di adet, Madmapaknet. Thank you very much po, ladies, and have a good day. Congratulations. Thanks God, it's Friday. TGIF po. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. God bless and keep safe po always. Bye-bye. Ingat kayo.
Bye po.
Bye, sir. Thank you po.
Ingat.